So I'm going to put an image on the screen for our YouTube watchers / listeners now.
Yes.
Connor, how would you describe this image?
That is the master.
That's the master. But how would you describe this iteration of the master?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well,
it's original. It's fantastic.
Be honest about it.
It looks a bit like tinfoil.
Well, what's its skin like? Is it kind of
like charred?
Yeah, it's a little bit like burnt.
Yeah, like burnt.
A little bit crisp. A little bit.
Oh,
go on, Connor. Is it
a little bit crispy?
It's a little bit crispy.
Oh,
it could be.
Oh,
a little bit crispy pro.
Oh,
Let's
wow!
bring on our lovely guest this week, ladies and gents. It's Crispy Pro. Wow. Woo! Hi. Woo! Hello, Crispy. Woo! Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love
oh
this
wow.
The king is here.
Here he is.
Party.
Wow.
How are you doing
boys?
today, Crispy? Welcome to the show, mate.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. What an excellent intro. I knew exactly what you were doing as soon as you said, I'm going to get an image of the master. I'm like, oh, okay, I know exactly where this is going.
It's the
but yes, thanks
boy.
for having me on, boys. I appreciate it.
No, of course. What an honor. What an honor. This is crazy, actually. Yeah. Insane. It's so great to have you on here. Huge fans, obviously. So
anyone who doesn't know, Crispy is a YouTuber /
Correct.
YouTuber. And now a podcaster in his own right. How good?
A Who podcaster.
Very much so.
Yeah.
You guys were my inspiration.
Oh, sorry.
Don't even try. How long have you had your YouTube channel for now?
It will be 10 years in January. Can you believe?
Damn.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
So it's a long time.
I think me and Connor have both been watching for like probably the majority of that time, like close to
that's
7 or 8 years,
crazy.
I reckon.
Yeah, I think I started I would have been in year 9, so that would have been 2014, something like that, 2014.
Yeah,
that was
Yeah, I only started in 2013, so you guys are there. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Regardless.
No, thanks for all the content you've made over the years. It's been a good time, and it's always nice to have someone. I love the British, and I love hearing them and their opinions. It's great to have an Australian voice in there.
Exactly. So, that's exactly what I was going to say. And for coming on, I was like, oh, the boys, they usually crack a beer. But I was listening just then to your Sleep No More one, and both of you are on a cleanse right now. So I'll just have this Bundy by myself. No worries.
I felt bad asking. I was going to say, like, should I message you and say, do you want to crack a beer? I'm like, I don't want to pressure my guests into feeling like they have to crack a beer on the show with us.
Drinking all on his own.
Mate, I'm Australian. I will understand, okay? I will understand cracking one. That's absolutely fine.
It's that health cleanse. Yeah, exactly. Next time we will crack beers together.
I'll be on a health cleanse then, boys. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
That's when our health cleanse ends and yours begins. Oh, God.
So, Face the Raven is the episode we're talking about today.
Woo!
Was there any reason why you're on this episode, Crispy? Was that a you thing or a Connor thing?
That's a Connor thing. I'm just here.
Sorry. Okay. I was like, hey, take this one. I really love the episode, so I was like, this would be a great one to have you on for.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a bone to pick, actually, about this episode, so it's a good job that we have this.
Okay.
So on your podcast, Crispy, which is Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast, which is a great listen, and everyone should go listen to it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We can talk about that in a bit. But on your podcast, I commented on your underrated...
Oh, here we go.
Was it the underrated episodes? Yes.
And I said hot takes or something.
No, I think it was the underrated one. It was like a month or so ago.
All right.
And I said this episode and got immediately shut down. And I was
By
like,
me?
My heart. No, I think it was Troy.
Oh, I was going to say, that's very much a Troy thing.
Oh, dear.
No, I think like a lot of people... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like an enjoyed episode. I don't know if everyone raves about it. I don't know. Not as much as I'd like people
Ravens to rave about it. Yeah. No,
Ravens about it.
I didn't know really what to expect when, like, I did a little bit of research. I try to see what people think about it and stuff, like re-reviews and stuff, like IMDb and all that shit. And yeah, it's interesting. I've always like really loved it. So I think it's really good, and I'm interested to hear what other people say about it. But yeah, it was a little bit of a mixed response. I think that's the whole of season 9 in a nutshell. To be honest, like it's pretty It's a bit of a mixed bag of people either really like it or really just don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's
funny.
very up and down though in quality the whole way through.
It is. It really
It's
is.
an interesting one.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get into it? Oh God, Crispy's gonna hear our lovely intro live.
I'm ready. I'm so excited.
Cool. All right,
God.
let's do it. We are the 50% Doctor Who podcast. I'm Aiden.
I'm Connor.
That is
Crispy.
Yay!
You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor and watch our lovely faces on the YouTube channel at the 50% Doctor Who Podcast YouTube channel. And here is the lovely sting that makes us cringe day and night.
Oh wow, I love it. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50%. Podcast. Wow. It gets
good.
better every time.
50,
No, it doesn't.
It just is amazing. I just can't believe how great it is. Wow.
What were
It's
your
just
first thoughts when you listened to an episode, Crispy, and that came on?
I didn't realize it was a pre-recorded thing, and I thought it was like an ad lib the first time. And
Everyone's
I was like, oh yeah, all right, let's get into it. And then I listened to another one. I was like, oh, this is the
There it is
official one.
again.
Okay, all right, no worries.
I think
No,
it
I sing along
originally
every
started
time.
as an ad lib.
Yeah.
For the first time. I can't remember what episode it was. It was one of the early episodes. I think it started as an ad lib, and then you made a remix for it next
Yeah.
week. And I was like, this is awesome.
So good. Nothing compared to our Lord and Savior of remixes, Crispy over here, though.
Stop.
Man, how many of those bangers have you made over the years?
Oh, I've got the two Taylor Swift ones, which are the bane of my existence, but I love them.
Classic.
I love them very closely.
Love them.
I've got I Heart the Doctor, absolute bangaroony. I don't know. I haven't done a song in a while. I should.
Lest we forget, David Tennant is my dad.
Okay,
on
no,
your
when I say I
podcast.
haven't done it in a while, I have done some for the podcast. David Tennant is my dad, is a personal favourite.
An original artist, Crispy himself. I love it.
Very good.
Yeah,
I love
So
it.
if you want to check out any of those videos, them lovely videos, go check out
stop it.
Crispy Pro's YouTube channel. How good.
Amazing.
All right, before we get into Face the Raven, though, let's talk about you, Crispy, shall we? Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
You allow it?
Get ready.
I'll allow it.
So, we always ask, whenever we have a new guest on the show, what got you into Doctor Who?
Okay. Well, it was a strange story. It's not very straightforward. I was at my auntie's place all the way back in 2010, and we were having dinner, and then in the background there was the Lodger with starring James Corden.
Whee!
That was my first interaction with the show, and just in the background was like, I was like, "Excuse me, can you help me? Can you help me, please? Can you help me?" And I was like, "What is going on? What is going?" And I caught the tail end of that, and I was like, "This is some weird sci-fi nonsense. I don't really know what's going on." But then I tuned in the week after, which of course was the Pandorica Opens, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm in love with it. I am
great.
head over heels for this. And then I went back and, got all the DVDs from my local state library. So I just watched everything. I'm pretty sure like my third episode was The End of Time. So, as you do.
Wow.
As
The
you
way
do.
to experience the David
Yeah.
Tennant era.
That's crazy.
Literally.
Wow.
And then from then on, I don't know, I've obviously fell in love with the show. Haven't shut up about it for over a decade. So, I don't know. I love it. I love it a lot.
Awesome. That must have been a pretty short gap between you watching the show and starting your YouTube channel, right?
Well,
'Cause that's... Yeah.
it's funny. Like I started watching the tail end of 2010, and then 2011. I remember my favorite episode of all time is the Impossible Astronaut, just because that was the first time I watched it live with the rest of the world, and it felt like, I don't know, it was just a huge thing. And that episode obviously has the Doctor's death in it, and I was like, what's going on? I showed everyone at school. And then from then on, I was like, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. But I didn't set out to make a Doctor Who YouTube channel. It was going to be a gaming one, because I was like, I'm going to be the next PewDiePie. That's genius.
Wow.
That's easy
not?
done. And then I played some of the adventure games, and one of those videos got 50 views, and I'm like, I'm famous. I am so famous right now. So then I uploaded a Clara theory, and that got 1,000 views, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to make a Doctor Who channel and talk about that for the rest of my days, and here I am. So to answer your question, it was only, maybe a year and a bit from watching, first seeing the show and then starting the channel, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, that is insane. I think one of my favorite videos from back in the day was the one where you flew to go to the premiere for Deep Breath and met Peter Capaldi, which is not something that a lot of people can say. That is pretty crazy. You met Daddy P.
I met Daddy P. I said, hello, Daddy P. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Crispy. I remember that.
Baby Crispy.
I love that.
Do you want me to touch on that story?
Yeah.
Sure, please. I'd love to hear it.
It's a very quick one. I've told this one before. But there was an ABC competition, and they were like, how do you hard heart the Doctor? So I made this silly little rap. It didn't win the competition at all, but the people at the BBC saw it and were like, hey, we like this kid. And then they flew me out to Sydney and were like, oh, you're just going to do some like interviews and stuff. And then we got to watch the Deep Breath as part of like the Doctor Who World Tour.
That's so cool, though.
Which was awesome. Like seeing an exclusive like weeks before the episode comes out, it was very special. And then the BBC manager guy was like, "Oh, hey, come backstage. You're gonna meet Peter Capaldi right now." And I was like, "What? Here I am, grade 11 me." I don't know. It was something else. And then like we go backstage, get to his dressing room, and he's not there. And I'm like, "What? What's going on?" And then I turn around. He's like, "Hello, Crispy." I'm like, "Oh, what? Get out of here!" And he was so nice, and
that's iconic.
Because Jenna Coleman was there as well, and they like after the screening of Deep Breath, they were gonna have this like Q&A with the audience, and they were like half an hour like late to that because Peter Capaldi wanted to spend time talking to me, and that was the biggest honor I've ever had in my life, and I do not take that for granted at all.
Huge. That's amazing.
So yeah, I'm very like insane. I'm
crazy.
just very, very fortunate for all the opportunities that have come along with, you know, this YouTube channel right now. Like everything from obviously meeting Peter Capaldi, and then like literally today meeting you two fine gentlemen, and I'm sure this won't be the last time we speak. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, the Doctor Who is so much bigger than us. You know, like, would we have talked without this show? Maybe. I don't know. I've never been to Perth.
Well, that's the same with me and Connor though. Like we met through the show.
We met through the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We met through the show. We met like pretty much our main group in high school. It was strangely all connected.
Like people
from
knew people
Doctor.
who knew.
Yeah, it was like all through Doctor Who. Like weirdly enough, it was all connected through that.
Yeah,
I like that.
And with Aiden and my best friend Dan, I'm still really close to both of them, and that started through Doctor Who, which is insane. Like it feels like a sign in life almost. As cheesy as it sounds, it felt like
I like
a bit
cheese.
of a purpose, you know. Yeah, you love cheese, you know.
We like Doctor Who. Cheese.
I love Doctor Who, and I love my friends, and it just kind of like, you know, it all just came together, and it was somehow it just all worked out, and it was weirdly because of like Doctor Who. So
it's a beautiful.
I get what you
It's a
mean. I
beautiful
get what you
thing.
mean.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say on your podcast that you are like the like BBC ambassador of Doctor Who in Australia or something? Or correspondent or something?
I signed a contract a long time ago that I am apparently the official Australian correspondent for Doctor Who.
Awesome.
Apparently.
No, that's very special.
It hasn't,
as well.
it hasn't come in handy. I don't know if I'm still in their little system or whatever, but at one time that was me. So I like went on the fan show a few times.
Whovians? You went on Whovians, didn't you?
I was
met
briefly interviewed on Whovians, and I made a video with Rove on my channel, which is a crazy thing to say. That was like the subtlest flex I've ever done. Oh yeah, video with Rose. I mean Rose, not Rose.
Flex.
If I got a video with Rose, that'd be something else. But yeah,
Billy Piper.
I love it.
How good. All right then.
Hell of a career.
Well, we do have. You know, this is meant to be like an icebreaker challenge thing, but I feel like we've already slightly broken the ice, but we're going to do it anyways. This is a game. We introduced it with Josh, and what we're going to do is going to ask you some very quick fire questions, and you've got to answer first thing that comes to mind, all right? Super quick.
Okay.
And then maybe me and Connor will take some mental notes.
Yep.
And we'll might circle back to some of these ideas down the road, all right?
okay, I'm ready.
It's time for Speedy Who.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
Go Sonic. We love it. All right. Are you ready, Crispy?
So ready.
So ready. Let's go. All right. Favorite Doctor Who episode?
The Impossible Astronaut.
Least favorite Doctor Who episode?
Fear Her.
Wow.
Tomato sauce. Fridge or pantry?
Pantry, sorry.
Favorite Doctor? No, that's the right answer.
Oh, good. Favorite Doctor? Capaldi, probably.
One trip in the TARDIS. Past, present, or future?
Future.
Last meal on Earth, what would it be?
There's a South African sausage called boerewors, which is so good.
Wow. A
Yeah.
classic Doctor you'd like to watch more of.
Tom Baker.
Favorite TV show outside of Doctor Who?
It was Broadchurch, but I don't know. I just started Schitt's Creek. It's great.
Yeah. First impressions of Connor and I, either today or on the listening to the podcast ages ago.
It's nice to see fellow Aussies doing this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Scariest episode of Doctor Who?
The Night Terrors.
Favorite companion which only features in one episode and consists solely of a robot head? Handles.
Oh my gosh, it's
Handles.
Handles. Yeah. I was like, does Nardole have a robot head? Yes.
Yeah, I thought you were going for Nardole at first, and I'm like, well, one episode though.
The reason
that's good.
that is because dude, there was a joke that caught me so off guard like years ago in one of your videos. Where I think you spoke to, because you had like a Sideman mask or something.
It was like
on
a
the
head
shelf.
on a shelf.
It's like, please let me down from
Yeah.
the shelf.
Yeah,
And it caught
yeah,
me
yeah.
so off guard. That's like my favorite thing you've ever done, that one joke.
Thank you. Oh no, I need to bring it back. He's stored away somewhere because he can't really be in the background here. I've just got my bed here. You can kind of see my projector there. That's all I got. I have a projector in my room. I have this
Wow.
very
Cool.
cheap as camping projector, and it shines on my wall. And that's how I watch.
That's
Doctor
very
Who.
cool.
That's so sick.
It's very
That's a
cool.
good
But
way
yes,
to watch Doctor Who.
just for you, Aiden, I'll bring Handles back, and he'll say some more unhinged stuff.
I love it.
Why? Can I ask why? So what's the fear her hate? Because man, that episode slaps hard. I fucking love Fear Her
What?
so much. Yeah, 100%. So good. I gave
my
it a really
gosh.
good rating. I think.
That's
Like,
I thought that was sarcasm.
I actually do really like it.
can get
I
you
don't
your Fear
know
Her rating
why,
right now.
Yeah,
but
and Aiden's all like, you know what? In the Forest of the Shite is actually alright.
It was funny. It's funny. Like, it's not a good episode, but it's funny.
oh, I gave it
It's
4.5.
funny.
That's not too good, but still, better than what Aiden gave, like a 3.5. Yeah, there you go.
Well, look, the first time I watched that episode, I didn't give it the best chance because it was in my car. You know, like not my car, my dad's car, and you know you can get like those DVD players.
Well,
like
that's sit on the head of the
So it was when like my sister and I were like starting to watch it. It was the first time I ever watched like series 2 or whatever. And I remember Love and Monsters at the time being like, this is pretty cool. And then Fear Her came around and I'm like, what is this? And my sister was the exact opposite. She loved Fear Her but couldn't stand Love and Monsters. So that was my first time watching those 2 episodes.
Yeah,
But
wow.
I honestly haven't gone back and watched Fear Her in years. So maybe for you guys I'll give it another go, but I don't know.
I won't stand up for Fear Her.
Okay.
I won't. I'm not touching that shit. But like the one thing I will say is it does have like this weird nostalgicness for like the London Olympics.
Oh,
I don't know.
totally.
Yeah.
That was like
It's
the
just
first
a
Olympics that I
nostalgic
kind of
series as
remember.
well.
So that was huge. You have a lot of love for Series 6, don't you?
A lot of love for Series 6.
That's interesting because I think me and Connor doing the podcast going, and I think that was when we were in a big dry spell of No Who. Like I think it was in COVID. Like Flux was maybe being filmed, but I don't think we saw a lot of Flux being.
I think it
filmed,
was just being
did
filmed.
we?
Yeah.
It was just like here and there we saw them on like a beach or something.
Little bits of pixel in there. Yeah.
But it was like a dry spell, and we were reviewing Series 6, and it really slowed down because it was like a bunch of 2-parters, and then it was like villain of the week, villain of the week, villain of the week, villain of the week.
Yeah.
And for us, they just weren't hitting. And I think that's like the toughest time for us to keep going with the pod. Like we were like, fuck, this is...
That's correct. Yeah,
Through
we
Series
were
6.
struggling a bit.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. Well, look, it's purely just nostalgia for me. That's all. I'm sure, like, I don't know if I gave it like a proper analytical like thing. If I watched it back to back and was like, oh, I've got to review this now, got to review this now, review this now, I might be like, you know, it probably doesn't hold up as much. But I'm just a sucker for that whole series. Like, as I've said, like,
Because that was the first
whole
one you
series.
watched.
Yeah.
That's one you watched live. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's just it's got a massive spot in my heart. But yeah, I definitely see its faults.
So many,
and stuff.
so many bangers though with the
yeah.
astronaut 2-parter and
That is
Doctor's
great. I love the premise.
Wife, Girl Who Waited, God Complex. There's some fucking bangers in there.
Yeah, there is.
Like
there
really,
is.
really great episodes. But that was notoriously like, I think before maybe like season 11, which I haven't rewatched by the way. I don't want to hate on it until I've rewatched it. But until season 11, I think season 6 was my least favorite.
Right.
But rewatching it, I think we found a bit more appreciation for it. But yeah, it was during a bit of a dry spell for the podcast where we were kind of like just dragging our feet into the studio every week. Going, fuck, we have to record this.
Fitty.
Yeah, God,
Fitty.
It was the old dry spell, but yeah, rewatching all the seasons now, I think it's quite clear that there is like every season has a lot of just ups and downs. There isn't. I don't even think I could pick a season now. I'm like, yeah, that one was just pretty solid the whole way through. There's always just
Maybe
a lot of ups
1.
and downs.
I think season 1's pretty.
Season 1 probably might be the only one I would say I actually.
I feel like a lot of
really
people
like.
point to series 4, but I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Yeah, people do, but I agree. I don't know because I think season 4 gets a lot of love as well. But we found it had until the end, it was just pretty.
Yeah,
average.
I think the Sontaran one.
Didn't you
That's
say
what
on?
I'm saying.
I watched
That's
on
what I'm saying!
I watched on your podcast yesterday. You said that you didn't like it. What's up with that?
Oh, I just think it's the weakest of the bunch. You know, it's I never really connected with that story. I like the whole Atmos thing, and I like the fact that you know, like in the Partners in Crime, they had like an Atmos sticker on the taxi and stuff. I like that whole series feels very cohesive. But I just thought that was the weakest story. I don't know. I didn't really like the main villain guy and his reasoning. He's like, we're just going to repopulate Earth. Come on. Who doesn't want to sleep with me? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I think the Sontarans look kind of like toys in that one as well.
Yeah.
They're just these like blue, like army men.
Yeah, that's the thing. Season 13 Sontarans look so dope. Like they were
so much better.
So much better. And it was just interesting, like after watching that. I mean, I used to love that story as a kid. I was like, this is top tier Doctor Who, and then rewatching it, I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's funny how you rewatch stuff when you're older and it might hit better or hit worse. Yeah. Almost. Like it's
like
different.
The Wilf and Donna stuff is what holds up for me. Like,
so
those
good.
Scenes, they're amazing.
That's very good. That's probably like the highlight of those episodes. But it's interesting you say that, and you said before, Connor, about Series 11 being your least favorite. It was very much my least favorite for ages, and probably maybe still is. But literally just like maybe this past week, I was like, oh, like I'm really feeling like some Jodie Doctor Who. Like I'm feeling the centenary is on its way, even though we've seen no marketing. But that's a separate conversation. But rewatching it, like I remember never really liking the Witchfinders, Demons of the Punjab. I was like, oh, come on. But now having all of like pretty much all of Jodie's era, I'm going back to those episodes. I'm really appreciating now. Demons of the Punjab slaps. Like that is a really that's a strong episode. Awesome. And I appreciated the Witchfinders for the first time. I was like, I didn't really like what's his name? Is his name Alan Cummings? The actor who played
Alan
King.
Cummins, I think.
I was like, I never really liked that, but I enjoyed his performance in that. And Kablam, I like Kablam. I like Kablam. But anyway,
slaps.
I feel like Series 11 I actually appreciate way more now than I did back in 2018. And I don't know if it's just because I've done this channel for so long. I've got a uni degree since then. Am I a wiser person appreciating film and story and stuff? I don't know.
We're thinking
big brain stuff
for sure. Like when we get to season 11, because I'm so interested to rewatch that era because I feel like I never really even gave it a second chance. Yeah, there are so many episodes in like season 11 and 12 that I only watched like one time.
I think exactly. So back in like when was that? 2018.
You got me a season 11 Blu-ray.
Has it even come out of the packaging?
Yeah. No. I did rewatch. I think a little bit of season 11. Yeah, right. But I got to about halfway, and never really like the Ranscroft Kolos left like a terrible taste in my mouth. I was never really a huge fan of the
same.
New Year's specials, except Eve of the Darks, which I love, and I loved Flux. I think Flux was so fun. Like and Sea Devils was bit shit, but I'm keen as for the Centenary. So I think now that we know that Russell's coming back and the future with like Shooty and all that, and David Tennant and Catherine coming back, I think it will make you look back on this era with a bit more love, and that the future is like in safe hands. And it was a little bit scary before. Like there was a time when we didn't know what was going to happen next, who was going to take over, what showrunner was going to take over. It was in a bit of a dark place, and now that we know all that stuff, I think it's it's good. It's good, you know. It's in good safe hands, and yeah, it'll be interesting to rewatch. Sorry about the rain, by the way. It was sunny all day. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can't hear it at all.
It just sucks.
Is it
the
heavy?
mics pick it up.
I feel like you apologize for that every single episode.
We do. This is like the worst winter.
I don't know what's going on.
Like, and because where we film, so we sort of built this shed like as an extension to my house, and it's like it was.
Oh, so you're in a shed right now.
Yeah. So
damn,
but
it looks
like,
cool.
Well, we made it like a nice thing because we knew we were going to use it as a gym, but then like we kind of got rid of half the gear. So now
the gym's on like this side that you
cool.
can't really see at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, this is going to become my office space because I do a lot of like freelance work in here as well. So.
Now I understand what 50-50 means. It's 50% Doctor Who, 50% workout.
Yep.
My God,
Wow.
I didn't think of that. It's a 50% room.
Yeah. Let's talk about Face the Raven, guys. The episode that we are here for today. Face the Raven is the 10th episode of the 9th series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who, first broadcast on BBC One on the 21st of November 2015, and was written by Sarah Dollard and directed by Justin Molotnikov, who I think directed last week's episode.
I think so,
Sleep No
yes.
More, I think. In the episode, the alien time traveler, the 12th Doctor, is lured to a hidden trap street populated by extraterrestrial refugees in the centre of London after a death sentence. This is one of those descriptions that goes off and like does not have full stops and just keeps going and going. So I'm just gonna. We all know Face the Raven. Spoiler: it's the one where Clara dies. So we're just gonna throw that there, rip that band-aid off. What did we all think in 2015? Yeah, 2015. Watching this episode, we'll start with you, Crispy. What did you think? What was your first opinion?
Okay, so back in 2015 was obviously the first time I watched this episode, but it was right after the Doctor Who festival was in Australia. So I was fortunate enough to go there and do some interviews with some really, really cool people. Right after that, I was off to schoolies. So I had my schoolies in Fiji, which was really, really cool. And we did some like community, like, so we painted like a school and stuff. It was really, really nice. Not community, so I was not in prison. But we
That's
it was
exclusive.
the exclusive, yeah, my prison time. People wonder why I didn't upload much in 2015. So I did that, and so the first time I watched Face the Raven, I was like this with my phone, with my little iPhone 4. We're trying to get Fiji Wi-Fi to watch this thing, and I was like, oh, you know, it's 3 episodes to the finale, like it's probably not too important of an episode. And I just remember seeing, you know, Clara's death in that, being absolutely shocked. And then I went back to see all my friends who were like on like the schoolies with me, and like, oh, what's wrong, mate? What's wrong, Chris? And we're like, mate, I've just had a rough afternoon. I've seen it. I
just lost someone.
I've lost someone close to me. But I think it's a great story. I think it's a really, really great story.
Yeah. What about you, Connor?
I was insanely excited for it. They dropped this amazing TV trailer for it, which we watched last week off the show. But I was so excited for it, and we were told it was all quite, you know, a little bit connected. You know, this will like lead into next week, and then obviously it was the final and stuff. And I was just so keen, and they were bringing back Rigsy from season 8, and I really liked his character. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, it'd be cool to see him again. And it just from the trailer alone, it just looked like there was just like, you know, we saw some Cybermen in it, and we saw a little bit of like the Ood and stuff, and it was like, okay, like, you know, they're going to be in the background a little bit, and Maisie Williams is back, and the trailer kind of go the way that Clara was going to die, but it was also interesting to see if they were actually going to follow through with it and how they would do it, because everyone was like, they're not going to do that. Like,
did they reveal that in the trailer?
It's like a
Kinda.
shot of, there's a shot of her putting her hand onto Peter, and like he's like kind of tearing up a bit.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a shot of her like walking out, going, "Let me be brave."
Let me be brave. Yeah.
So you don't see her die, but it's kind of that
implied something bad's going on.
She's probably gonna die.
So everyone thought they were just pulling our leg just to get us to tune in, and it would never happen, and it did. And I've always absolutely loved this episode. I've pretty much already said that, but yeah, I just think it's so colourful and beautiful. I love the trap street, the way it looks. It's almost like Diagon Alley, like Harry Potter vibes.
Yeah,
like,
that vibe.
And it's a dark story that I think, you know, it kind of gets undone in Hellbent, which is, I think, why this episode can be a little less
Not
enjoyable.
necessarily.
Yes and no. Well, to be honest, I haven't rewatched it in a while. I haven't rewatched Hellbent in a while.
Yeah, neither, yeah.
But I know she kind of comes back, but I don't remember how. But you know, she kind of does come back.
I think it's like she still
done it
dies
a little bit.
Like she just like goes off for a bit.
So yeah, she is dead in the well. But yeah, no, I just think it looks so colorful and pretty, and I love how Maisie comes back, and it feels like a universe. Like she even mentions like the Zygons and stuff, and we had the Zygon two-parter like one episode ago, and it feels like Unit gets mentioned and stuff, and it really just feels like a world. Yeah.
I think I liked it as a kid, and I think I like it even more now. Like I'm constantly liking this more every time I watch it. It's so beautifully directed. I think it looks like
man, 100%. Yeah,
the sets are lit so nice. Even the TARDIS is lit just like
it's beautiful.
I don't know, there's like this magical nature. I think because the first scene they run in from out of the TARDIS doors, and it's got that like magical gold glow.
Haze,
and that's
beautiful haze.
Oh, lovely haze, yeah.
Yeah, my DP guy, every time we shoot something, he's like, we got to get the haze machine in the budget, guys. Let's go.
I love that.
And yeah, that looks, stunning. And I think the pacing's really good. I think in the middle it slows down a little bit, but like you're hooked really quick. Like it's really snappy.
Yeah.
It's like a montage, but it's not like a quick montage. It's like a montage of like scenes. That's just a montage. But you know what I mean? Like montages are just like a minute. This is like a 5-6 minute montage of them trying to find the trap street. And I think it's so like...
It looks so pretty, man.
It looks so pretty. It's so exciting. And it all... I don't know. It constantly from the start, it feels like a normal adventure, but there's just some kind of feeling to it. I don't know how to explain it. What it is, it's not quite foreboding.
The stakes feel higher.
It's just like, I think throughout the episode they just rise the stakes, and you're kind of like, oh, they're probably going to get out of this. They always do.
Then they actually don't, yeah.
And then they actually don't.
Yeah.
And then you see Capaldi be really mad at the end, and that's just something else.
He's so good in that scene.
But I will just before we get onto that, one thing when you're mentioning that whole like when they're trying to find the trap street thing, I love how that scene is directed, as you were saying. But I love at the end of it, it looks like they've filmed it the afternoon, like implying that they've spent like the whole day looking.
Yeah.
It's just like they didn't like they kind of do specify how long they spent when they're like, oh, you've only got like however many hours left. You kind of figure out from the maths, but just visually like, oh, they've been doing this for like the whole day.
Yeah.
Looking around, and it's really good. It's really fun.
It's a great thing story-wise, but also like it just looks pretty.
The
like,
colors
it's
at
so
that
pretty.
with the sunset.
They went out of their way, and like it wasn't even golden hour. It's like blue hour. Like the sun's already set.
It's
and,
gone.
Like, they must have had like 10-15 minutes to get those shots. And like so good. Yeah.
It's very pretty. Yeah, you're right about the stakes though, and like, you know, it just keeps going, and yeah, you're right. Like you do kind of feel like, oh, if this was any normal adventure, like they'd get out of it. And I like how throughout season 9, like it is building up that Clara's getting a bit too risky and taking all these risks, and I do like as well that actually does pay off. And actually go somewhere. Yeah,
in your guys' pod, when I think it was your newest step when you were talking about your favorite episodes. I think someone mentioned Mummy on the Orient Express, and you were like, that's where Clara's arc starts, and that's exactly what we said in our review as well.
Oh,
like, that's where her arc into this I'm the Doctor kind of thing starts.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's good. Yeah. They've sprinkled that like very nicely. I mean, some people probably wanted it to be more prominent. Like, I mean, definitely I wouldn't mind seeing something happen in series 7 where she's like addicted to the lifestyle, but I mean, series 7 was too focused on trying to figure out who Clara is, not working on who Clara should be. But regardless, I love that whole companion arc, and I think it's quite unique to Clara. And
I feel like they could never really commit to it though without killing off Danny. So it's like everything is like a slow.
And
like,
Danny gets to mention as well, and it's really well used. I think
that's good.
Mention.
That's true. One of my main criticisms was that Danny didn't get mentioned much, and there was a deleted scene for the girl who died where they mentioned Danny Pink, and I was like, why didn't they leave that in there?
Oh, really?
Because, I mean, there is a deleted scene where Clara, I think, is talking to Maisie or something, and Danny Pink gets brought up. Maybe it wasn't Maisie. I can't remember, but Danny Pink gets brought up, and I'm like, oh, that would have been cool. But it is nice that Danny gets a mention in this episode. But this episode, as you said, it does feel very connected. It almost feels as connected as we were mentioning before, like with the Atmos stickers in series 4.
No,
like this episode
exactly
is
right.
so like in universe with the Zygon thing, bringing Riggsy back, and the writer of this, Sarah Dollard, didn't even write Flatline or anything. So she obviously watched Flatline and was like, I want that character in my story.
Yeah.
And
it does feel connected.
It feels so connected, and it's really well written, and we can only assume that's because Sarah Dollard is Australian, as we know. Australia's very good.
That's it.
Yeah, I love her work, man.
Just
She's
look at
really
that.
great.
She's as every screen person in Australia, she started out on Neighbours.
Whee!
So there we go. And it doesn't say what her Doctor Who references are here. That's
She
great.
did Thin Ice as well.
Yeah,
in
Thin
season
Ice as
10.
well. I think that
Yeah.
that might be her only 2 contributions.
I think she only did 2, yeah. Which sucks because I really love
would
this
love
writer.
more.
Boys, she did Merlin, which I didn't really watch, but she did Primeval.
Wait.
Oh,
I don't know. Did you ever watch that?
I don't think I've seen it. I think my
It
dad
was
loves
like-
it.
It was like ITV's rival to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
do
a
you
good way
know,
to
do you know
put
what
it.
it is? It's like dinosaurs and shit.
Oh, maybe I have seen it. I was about to say, is that the dinosaur show? Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in forever. Like a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah,
I know of
it's a lot of it. Like it's real, like 2005 Doctor Who CGI.
Oh, yeah.
but like heavily reliant on it. So some episodes it's a bit like, oh dear, but no, it's still great, and I love the characters and stuff. I didn't know she worked on that.
Merlin's a good show. I watched like the first like 2 seasons of that when I was a kid. I really like that. But I really like her as a writer.
Dude,
Like,
she's got her fingers really like in like all the big UK shows. She did Skins. She did Being Human. These are all shows that like I've seen episodes of here and there, but I know have cult followings.
one of
Damn.
Toby Whithouse's shows as well.
Yeah.
The Game co-wrote episodes. Wow, with series creator Toby Whithouse. Yeah.
Wow. I've got to get on that Neighbours hype.
Yeah, it's got its ending now. It's gone.
It's gone, mate.
Yeah.
Australia's best TV show is gone.
Yeah.
It's
true.
massive in the UK. It's huge.
I know. It's like
It's
bigger
one-
in the UK.
It's bigger in the UK than it is in Australia, which I find hilarious, and a lot of our, like the listeners here, I'm assuming, would find hilarious as well because like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, we had a show in Perth called the Heights, I think.
The Heights.
And this was literally like 3 or 4 years ago it started, and it was a soap. In the way I think it had like 20 to 30 episodes in its first season. And I've met the director from it. He's a really nice guy. Who also did the K9 Australia show. Actually,
Nice.
That's a crossover. He's
There's a
directed some of that.
connection.
Amazing.
Very good.
Yeah, he's got some crazy
That
stories
is-
about that show. Man.
that is fantastic.
And that was like, so it only ran for 2 seasons. It got cancelled. Well, it didn't get cancelled. It just didn't get renewed. You know?
Yeah.
And that was like 2 years ago. I think it last finished, but it aired in Australia and got pretty respectable figures.
Uh-huh.
And then they sold it to the UK, and the UK ate that shit up. And so it's like,
did they like sell the rights, or did they just show the show?
they just sold the show as it was to be
Wow.
like watched over there.
That's so cool.
And but yeah, and they still were like, no, we're not going to do season 3. And I'm like,
Come on.
we finally had a TV show in
Opportunity.
Perth that was being seen in places, and we've just been dogged. I don't know. I don't know what happens in those decisions. That's not me.
It's pretty
Money-
crazy.
Money happens in those.
Money.
Big time. All right. So, what haven't I said yet? I think I've said pretty much everything.
Great.
Yeah, I just think it's got Doctor Who's best cliffhanger. I'm going to throw it out there. Like,
Best ever.
It's so
Wow.
good.
I think so.
Wow.
Like, the Doctor, no TARDIS, no. Clara's died.
Dead.
And,
Yep.
you know, it's kind of like, who are these people that are coming for him? Probably going to be the Time Lords. And in hindsight, knowing it's the Time Lords that have stitched him up like this, it's like, it's pretty tense. Good cliffhanger. I'm a big fan of this. Raise me a cliffhanger beyond that.
When Amy's baby gets turned into pancake mix.
Don't worry about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's rivaling it. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Pandora opens.
You guys. Just,
Pandora opens. I'd say maybe
leave.
Army of Ghosts. That shit
Oh,
sent me
come
as a kid.
on.
I watched that shit
Yeah,
live,
no.
and I was like, "Oh my
I'm
god!"
angry because you're both right. But I think this, I think this
But
is
no,
still
it is.
a great
It is a
cliffhanger.
very.
It's so
good
good though.
cliffhanger.
No, the cliffhanger is really great, and you know, almost like I remember when I watched this episode with my best mate Dan. I was like, oh, you know, I won't show you the next time trailer. The best thing I think you can do is go into Heaven Sent by just like not watching it. And like we watched that little. It's really cute at the end. I don't know if you saw it's like a little end credit.
yeah.
It's almost like a little end credit, like an end credit scene. And then they show the trailer. But I remember not showing them that. It's like, you know, just hop into it. And I think it's a great setup to the greatest episode of Doctor Who of all time.
Could be. I've not watched it in years.
Of all time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so. I think it's great. I think also it's a really great idea with the whole Raven thing and the countdown.
Oh,
I think it's a great concept. I think it's set up really well where you see someone else gets taken up by the Raven, and there's a really good line by Maisie where she says, you know, would you show sympathy for a Cyberman? And it's actually just like a Cyberman, but you're getting to see the human form, and there's so many different creatures in there.
I was kind of like,
why would a Cyberman have emotions?
with Trap Street, I was kind of like, they really have just gone like, here's all the hits of the Doctor's villains, right? Like that's the one thing that was like slightly jarring. I was like, it'd be nice to maybe have some designs that were used like once or twice. You know, like whenever they do like a bar scene and there's all these designs in there that we don't really see very often, but they're used in those. It was a bit weird that it was all like
the BBC
Sultan,
prop
Darling,
department.
Cyberman.
Yeah.
Just give me all the old ones from like Rings of Akaten, and then that'll do.
Millions from that.
But yeah, I think it's a really cool, unique story, which you don't get many stories like this, and I think a lot of components just came together. Oh, by the way, Murray's score was fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah,
sorry
so
to
good.
get me started.
So good.
He brings it out for this episode. It's very
so
very good.
The amount of times where I just noticed it, and I was like, wow, like he's the GOAT.
Like, sorry, just going back to that like scene where they're walking through the streets and stuff. I swear there's like a slight ticking in the soundtrack where like, I'm like, oh come on, that's cheeky. I like it.
I love that the score that plays when they're walking through, like when they finally find the opening to the trap street. It's and that beautiful gold like warm look. I really have like pretty much nothing but good things to say about it, and it has a really good mystery attached to it. And again, I think when season 9 wants to be really good, it's great, and it's very unique. Like getting an episode like Heaven Sent and Face the Raven like with each other is just, when you look at season 10, for example, like 9 and 10 are so completely different, and I think at least season 9 had a really good. It knew what it wanted to be, and it was that. And I think when it works, it's like top tier Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, like looking back, because Series 9 is definitely like a roller coaster, but the highs are like very high. I mean, obviously, like Heaven Sent's like almost an outlier; it's that high. And Series 10, a lot of people say is Capaldi's best, and I pretty much agree with that statement, I think. But I mean, like in that series, I feel like there's a lot of like good episodes. Like it's just really solid episodes. But maybe apart from like the finale, I don't know if it necessarily reaches the same heights as your Face the Ravens and your Heaven Sent. I don't know if that's a hot take necessarily.
No, I think you're right. Yeah,
it's interesting.
I'll be interested, because I don't know if you know this, because I don't think we've mentioned this in quite a while on the podcast. But me and Connor are like shut off from watching any of the episodes that we haven't reviewed yet. So like when we first started this mid 2020, we went, that's it. We're not watching any more Doctor Who other than like starting from Rose. And so every time we get onto like a new Doctor, I'm like, thank God I can watch some more Matt, or I can watch some more Pete. And I can't
love
wait
the
to watch more
commitment,
Jodie.
boys. I love the commitment to the bit. That's very well
stressful.
done.
Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes to fit in watching it as well, because we do
you guys
tend
watch
to
all the
leave it.
freaking Torchwood in your lunch break.
Yes. Oh, that's literally in a couple of weeks we're doing Children of Earth and Class. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like within a month.
How the hell am I? Yeah, no, it can be hard to fit it in, but I'm really glad that we have watched them, and it's quite an achievement to say we've watched it from season 1 like all in order as well. It's pretty cool, but it makes you I think the most interesting ones to rewatch will be season 10 onwards, because I never rewatched 10 much, and I didn't give really Jodie's era a try, so that's gonna be really interesting to rewatch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think I didn't like 10 much at the time, other than the finale.
Yeah.
But like like looking back on it now, bear in mind I've only seen these episodes like twice, and I don't think the last time I watched them, other than the finale, was like when the Blu-ray came out. So like 3 months after the series came out, and I thought it was average. I never loved it, so I'm interested to see like the renaissance of it. Sorry, my nose is I'm really nasally at the moment. I'm just getting out of a cold.
Mate. So am I. We're all good.
Yeah, it's gonna sound great on the audio. Two nasally boys.
Two nasally boys. Egg Connor. That's the name of this episode.
Clear sinuses.
Yeah, and then with Jodie's era, it's like I do feel this weird nostalgic for the first season because like we've had Flux and even Series 12 where it became a lot. Like and I like it. I like what we got. I enjoyed Flux. But I feel nostalgic for them like individual stories because everything's so connected later in Jodie's run, which is it's fun and I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
But there is like some niceness to the fact that you have 10 individual episodes, which I'm sure they vary in quality and stuff, but as does every season of Doctor Who. So I'm keen to hit them up again.
Yeah, I'm really
excited to see
really
what
keen.
you guys think about them, honestly, because as I was saying, just rewatched a few and I've got a newfound appreciation for them. And if you guys haven't seen them, and like I've rewatched them quite a bit since that, like, well, not quite a bit, not for a few years, but when they came out, like my routine was when the episode of Doctor Who comes out, immediately on iPlayer, let's go. But like I hadn't watched them in years, and I don't know, newfound appreciation. So I'll definitely be listening, boys. I'll definitely be listening.
I love it. Love to
Thank you very
hear
much.
Well, I love to hear that you'll hear it. That's that.
So, boys, when I was doing some research for this, I came across something. I was like, oh, was that intentional? And I think it was. So you know how Riggsy forgot? Like that's the whole main point of the episode is that he forgot this incident. They say that it was through retcon, which is like a Torchwood thing.
Yes, yeah.
And I never twigged that.
What?
Never twigged that was where they were going with that. I was like, that's really cool. So props to Sarah like Dollard once again, not just keeping it in the Doctor Who universe, keeping it with the extended media. Thank you very much.
So good. Yeah,
That's funny because I thought you mentioned that. I thought I caught on that.
I picked that up, but and I think like I got towards the end of the episode and I was like, I got to make a note of that. That was really cool. And then I just completely forgot about it when I wrote my actual notes.
Well, so, I was looking through it and I was like, oh yeah, like looking through the Wikipedia page just real briefly, and I was like, oh, is that a real thing? And anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Good.
What?
It's very interesting. It's very good. That's a good transition.
Because
we've not done this in a very long time. But I prepped for today's show.
Oh.
Which means what we do have is Australia's... Is it second, first, or third?
Australian
second. I think it's second favourite segment, right? Goof of the Week was first.
Yeah, fuck. That's how long we haven't done it for.
We used to have like 3 segments at the end of each episode. And we don't do any of them now. But, we're going to do, as a special, because Crispy's here.
Oh, stop it, boys.
And because I had more time on my hands today, we're going to do Behind the Scenes. Behind the Scenes is the segment where we pull back the curtain of the episode and we have a look behind the scenes. Wow. Woo. So, a few interesting facts here. Let me get my clipboard ready to look all smart. Alright, so this episode, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's the first appearance of the velvet suit. Iconic.
Love the red velvet suit.
No way. Really? Oh, wow. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I've touched that in real life.
Yeah.
Can I just say? Because it's my favourite suit.
Actually.
I touched it at the Doctor Who experience. Yeah, the actual red velvet one that Pete wore. Yeah.
Was it on display and it said "Do not"?
Yeah, it was on like a headless mannequin.
Yeah.
And it was right at the end of the experience, and like they have staff walking around the whole time to make sure no one's touching anything, and no one's around. And I was like,
oh, nice.
It's my favourite suit, so I just did the old. And it felt fantastic. Can I just say, it was just
I'm just gonna stop.
top quality,
amazing,
top quality.
Amazing.
It was quality jacket.
I don't know if you guys noticed in this episode, there's a continuity error between episode 6 and this with Maisie Williams, right?
Okay.
So,
oh gosh,
Maisie, we love Maisie, but she got a nose piercing between the episodes, and so she had to keep it in this. But because she's immortal, the healing thing should pop that thing out. I don't know. This is Tada's wiki facts.
Oh,
I'm going from there. But I don't know.
Wow.
my thought process is it should just grow around it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, TARDIS Wiki
So
has
you
the
can't get
answers,
haircuts
and
or
they
anything?
say that's not right.
Your hair
That's
can't change
interesting.
either? Like, nothing would happen with her body, or...
Well, I think if she got a haircut, it would grow back like a normal person. I don't know why I'm amazed by that.
Right.
But, like
Because she heals.
yeah. So
Yeah,
like, if she got
okay.
a nose piercing. Technically, it should heal up over that. That doesn't
Okay.
make sense. Maybe.
It
She
might just be a
pierces it every
clip-on.
day.
It might just be a clip-on one.
Yeah, the clips.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That'll
we'll do
that'll
that.
solve it.
We'll run with that.
We'll phone Sarah and see what she
Yeah,
has to say.
Sarah, can you explain as to exactly the intention here? Oh, Maisie got a nose ring. That's it.
This is
That's all
Doctor
the
Who
explanation.
fans in a nutshell picking up on shit like that. You're
Yeah,
like,
it must be
actually,
something.
that doesn't make sense
She
because
must be the hybrid.
she's the hybrid, folks.
Which, by the way, is a plot point that I know it's been mentioned.
It
in,
keeps
like,
getting mentioned now, yeah.
yeah, but I've not picked up on it this time. I know
Yeah.
it's in like
It's
1,
in a
2,
few-
like 5, 6, and 7, 8.
like a hybrid.
Yeah, they keep saying that
Yeah.
stuff. But every time we've been watching it this
Yeah.
month, I've just like that line's got over my head.
It's no
When I
bad
finished the
wolf.
episode, I'm
Yeah.
like, when did they mention that?
No Torchwood, you know.
Yeah, it's a weird one. All right, one last fact here. This episode shares a lot in common with Earthshock.
Ah!
Now, Crispy, I know you're not a massive classic Who fan.
Yeah.
Have you seen Earthshock? Because it's a big episode.
I have not at all.
Oh, you got to do it.
I
You
know.
gotta do
Don't
it.
worry. I'm cooking something up classic Who wise,
You're
as I've
cooking-
said for
Oh.
the past 10 years. But
Ooh.
I am actually working on something.
I actually,
So-
yeah, I think you did say that ages ago on
Yeah.
like a video or something.
Crispy's in the kitchen cooking something
just
up.
Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right time.
Okay, yeah, I'll respect that. I respect that. Okay, so there is the thing that I noticed, right? So Earthshock ends, and you've probably seen this on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, spoiler alert, that's the episode where Adric dies?
Yeah.
I don't know if, yeah, okay, I didn't want to ruin that for you.
No,
but
no, no.
just did.
I knew that one. Yeah.
Cool. All right. And it ends with, so Adric's got this like golden star, and when the credits roll, I think it's the only episode of Classic Who that doesn't use a title sequence, like a time vortex at the end, nor does it use any sound, and it's just a silent, still shot of Adric's star broken on the ground. And so the first thing that I noticed that was very reminiscent of that was the last, I think it's the last shot of this episode. Pete teleports, and the last shot is his bracelet clanging onto the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a very similar shot to that. And I was like, interesting. Went and did my research. So, I think it might have been intentional. Because, so, when Pete and the gang, they're going through Trap Street, and they're like, you got to count everything. A little bit of foreshadowing. So, Pete grabs a child, and he's like counting. He's like, 80, 81, 82. Remember, 82. And it's very much like, you kind of have your attention drawn to it, and they
Yeah.
just kind of move on for it. Well, 1982.
No
And this is, I know this sounds like
way.
I'm pulling on straws here.
No,
but
no, no.
1982 was the year that Earthshock came out. And this is the first episode since that episode where a companion has been permanently killed on screen. So I think that's intentional. Because every other
Wow.
companion's like gotten out of it, or like Amy and Rory, they technically died off screen because they were
Yeah.
ageled back in time and
Yeah.
got to live out their lives, you know? So that's
Wow.
very, I think that's legit.
Yeah.
I reckon that
No,
was intentional.
I like that. I like that theory a lot. I like
There
that
we go.
theory a lot.
Well, that's another reason to really like the episode as well, is that like it was similar to Earthshot, where it was like at the time it was like, wow, like yeah, you know, like we said then about Amy and Rory, like you didn't really see this kind of thing a lot, and I think that's why this episode stands out as well.
Yeah.
For being different, you know.
Yeah. It's...
That is cool,
look,
though.
I know. I blow myself away sometimes, guys.
Did music play in the credits?
For this episode?
Yeah.
No, but I noticed Sorry, yes, it did
Yeah.
for this episode, but I noticed that the to be continued that came up was silent.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
It
maybe
was.
that
Right.
was...
I was
Right.
thinking that
Yeah.
when you were saying, I was like, did they? use
Yeah.
the credits. They did it, but it was definitely there was something different about it, and they
It
definitely
was
needed
something
to be-
different,
to
yeah,
be
and
continued.
even with the end credit scene and all that, it's pretty. Yeah, I mean, what else there to say? Really, it's just a great episode. It really does
Fantastic
stand on its own
episode.
2 feet, and it is very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very good. Crispy, do you have any last thoughts on Face the Raven?
It's great, and I never want to face the Raven myself. That's
No,
No.
that's a bad thing.
That's it.
That's a weird way to, like, imagine Moffat, like, pitching that to the producers. Like, all right, so
Alright.
The Raven
that's
kills-
Clara. She's going to walk down an alleyway, and a raven is going to fly into her.
So,
Boom! And it's weird. I do think there is, like, one shot from behind her when you see her,
Yeah.
like... and I do think that was, like... It made it look a little goofier. I don't
Oh,
know,
yeah.
seeing it from behind it was a little bit weird, but yeah, it's a weird way to go out. I like it. I'm a fan of it, but it's a weird way to go. All right. Just before we wrap things up, Crispy,
Oh, yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about you. Okay.
Oh gosh, surely not.
No, we love talking about Crispy.
Oh god.
Just like you've made so many videos over a long period of time. How do you keep the juices going? What's your creative process?
The spark alive.
Yeah.
Bundy, mate. It's Bundy. Oh, I don't know. My love for the show, I don't know. It's never my love for the show has never really dwindled, I guess. I mean, like, I know a lot of people, you know, stop watching when Matt Smith came in. A lot of people stopped watching when Capaldi came in. A lot of people stopped watching when Jodie came in. But I'm just so invested in the show. It's ridiculous. And I don't know. I've always got ideas for videos and stuff. It's just actually making myself do it. And now, like, I work full time. But I was able to negotiate a day off a week, so that definitely helps with like Crispy Pro stuff, because I do like this is definitely my passion, but I'd love to turn it into something more. I'd love to be able to, you know, go to the UK, work with the BBC one day properly, not just be the Australian correspondent. But regardless, I just think Doctor Who's core message is brilliant. It's all about acceptance, all about change, and I think it's one of the best pieces of gosh damn television out there. So if little old Crispy has to make Taylor Swift videos to be out there, then so be it. But yeah, I don't know. I love the show.
Yeah, facts, man. That's a lovely way of putting it.
And I got one last question, and it's probably gonna make you blush.
Okay.
How do you maintain being like the nicest Doctor Who person in the Doctor Who community? Like, genuinely, I don't think
what are you on
anyone
about?
can ever say a bad thing about Crispy.
It's true. Facts.
Oh, let's say, all right, that's very nice. that is
you somehow
quite the compliment.
You have opinions and stuff, but you still stay out of any beef and things like that.
Well,
you know? So it's
Here's the thing. I don't know. Like, there's always a lot of discourse, and like, if I wanted to get involved with Twitter drama, sure, I could get involved with Twitter drama. No worries. But like, I don't know. As I said, I know what the show stands for, and I think I should stand for what the show stands for, I guess. And like, in saying that, like, I'll have opinions. I don't think Orphan 55 is great. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to say that. But at the same time, you know, I'm not one of those YouTubers that will be like, oh, you know, the trailer got this many dislikes, you know, RIP Doctor Who. Like, that's never been my intention. It's an easy way to get clicks because the hate content out there gets those clicks for some reason. I don't know why. But I think I would say, yeah, I'm a positive guy in general, I guess. I don't know.
I think it shows.
I just appreciate the compliment. I really appreciate the compliment.
No, awesome. We love it. We love your work. Shall we give a score to Face the Raven?
Okay.
Yeah? All right. Guest always
Guess
goes first.
first.
Oh, okay. Oh, how nice. How nice. I will give Face the Raven a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
9 out of 10, I think.
Wow.
I think I've got pretty high praise for it. I've got pretty high
Huge.
praise. Not too much wrong. I think the only thing I didn't particularly love, as you said, like, I feel like in the middle it gets a little bit slow, and I think that might be because of the whole subplot of remember the character where they can look forward and backwards and time? I guess they had to do it to kind of like close Riggsy's arc off.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I understand. But apart from that, it's just like banger after banger after banger, interesting story thread after interesting story thread, and then a massive payoff. I think Face the Raven's a good time, and you might shed a tear.
There you go. Yeah, I literally feel exactly the same. Like, the problem that you had with it being so in the middle, that's exactly sort of the only real problem that I had with it. And yeah, real good time. I didn't shed a tear, but I watched it and I was like, I think maybe if this was like a late night, come back from the pub watch, maybe I could have shed a tear. You know, I watched this, I put it on at 5 a.m. this morning to watch it before going to work. And, so I was very much just like there with my coffee and being quite like, I don't know, that's my, I want to soak up art in cremation.
Right.
Yes.
Time. And I don't get like as emotionally attached, but I soaked it in and I thought it was great. Also giving it a 9.
Nice. Very good.
Nice. Yeah, I am also giving it a 9.
Oh my
Look
God.
at that,
Wow.
boys. All three of
my
us.
goodness.
The 9 boys.
I mean,
Does that
that's not for
happen?
love.
Does that happen? I swear I've never listened to an episode where you
Not
guys
really.
have the same score.
I don't think so. Not with... Well, it does happen when it's just me and Connor from time to time. Probably like one
And
a
it's-
season.
Yeah,
we-
it's
we get it.
quite rare when we'll give the same as each other, but with a guest.
Yeah, never in a guest.
Let's
I think
go.
We've had
I'm
all the
honoured.
same score.
I'm
We're
absolutely
making first here today, people.
That's it. Big first. Big exclusive. Well, that's great.
Yeah. Wow.
On to Heaven Sent.
On to Heaven Sent.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
Good luck,
That's
boys. You're in for a
Oh,
treat.
man. Ooh,
I've heard
great
it's pretty
choice.
good.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this for so long.
Yeah, man.
And it's pretty crazy that we're actually finally here.
Yeah, good Rachel's content. We
Yes,
like to see it.
love Rachel. It's
We
just,
do.
it's an event. I feel like, and yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it in a special way. I think.
Yeah, in a special way.
Yeah, a few beers.
I see.
Put the fire on.
Cleanse? What about the cleanse?
Yeah.
Cleanse a little bit, you know.
Fake. I do have to. I say have to. I
There
don't
goes my
have to.
cleanse.
It's my sister's engagement party this weekend.
Yeah.
So I've got a.
Oh, I see. Oh, congratulations to
I
your
don't
sister.
have to. I'm sure she appreciates Crispy Pro said congratulations. She doesn't even watch Doctor Who.
Oh,
But,
neither does my sister anymore.
Hey,
great.
it's
Yeah,
their
and
loss.
that's
Their
that's
loss.
the key. Yes, but so at that, I feel like I probably should have a few. I probably won't have beers. I probably have like gin, like sugar-free gin, to be a little bit healthier.
So it's not
Classy
even.
too.
It's not even
classy.
the weekend either. You're not even.
I'm limiting it on I'm not.
Now that Frio's out, you're like,
now
I'm
Frio's
not drinking
out. I don't give a fuck
anymore.
about footy anymore.
I'm not caring about football.
I was wondering when the AFL talk was going to come in.
yeah.
That's all him. That is all him.
I was like so pumped, and obviously they didn't get through to the next stage. of the
yeah, to our
finals.
English viewers, you must know because we were decked in Frio gear.
Yeah,
They did not get in.
They
to
didn't get into the next round, and I was
What was that? The
editing,
semi-final or something?
They were in the
Quarter-final.
semi, yeah, and
Yeah.
then there was prelim, and then grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, that was on Saturday night. They didn't get in, and so I was like depressed on Sunday, still wearing my Frio hoodie and like editing away. I was just listening to us talk about Frio for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh.
I'm cutting half this out. Like,
Oh, no, you poor bastard.
it was very sad. It was very sad times. But
Frio.
yeah, do you watch footy, AFL?
I've been to a few Lions games, but no, I'm not the massive AFL follower. But I love going to the live games. I love going to live games.
Huge.
So I guess I'm a Brisbane Lions supporter. I suppose I don't know.
Well, I reckon I'm going to back them going into the grand final. So,
Well, they do all right. They do all right for themselves. Now they do.
good show on Friday. So
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. I think we should leave it there. You
Yep.
can hit Crispy up. Do you want to plug yourself, Crispy? You want to give all your things out there?
Just if you want to, I've got a channel called Crispy Pro and a little podcast called Who's There. But above all else, you should definitely subscribe to 50%. 50,
Oh,
yeah,
don't.
the 50% Doctor Who podcast. That's where it's at. That's where it's at, boys.
My heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
So and yeah, well done with the clips, Connor.
Go, Connor.
I know you're
thank you
doing
very much.
well. I know you're doing
Thank you very
well
much.
there.
Killing it.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
well
very
done,
much.
Aiden, with everything. You're crushing it. And I like seeing.
man. Well done, you.
I wanted to check out your short film. Didn't you make a short film like years ago, or was it recent? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw you did
recent. Yeah.
something.
Well, I made a few, and so we're
Gosh.
there's actually right behind you concept art for the next
Right
one we're
behind me?
developing. No, yes, in your room. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! How did you get that here?
Right behind the monitor.
Yeah.
There is concept art for the next thing that I'm developing, which is cool. Yeah, tend to do like one a year. So
Oh, very nice. Well, good
Yeah.
luck with everything.
thanks, man. Good luck with your podcasting, with
Thank
your,
you.
with the YouTubing, and
Thank you,
hopefully
Crispy.
you can be working for the BBC down the line.
It's
love it.
happening. It's
You're
happening.
Hashtag
How can
make
it not?
a showrunner.
That's it.
Yes. Aiden and Crispy for showrunner. Who
Oh
will get
yeah,
it?
let's
That's
go.
it.
Who's gonna get it?
Competition.
Who's gonna get it?
Let's go.
Oh boys, no! if we get to the top, we'll take each other. We'll take each other.
Yeah,
we'll run the
join.
show. We'll
That's
run
it.
the show. Sarah Dollard will be main executive producer.
Love it. Bring her in, Queen.
Sensational.
By the way, so you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50doctor. But and this is like a funny one because when I like messaged you, I was like, oh, this is a bit weird actually. So Connor's on Twitter at Howden Connor. I'm
Correct.
on Twitter at Greenie_Pro. I would like to clarify that was
Yeah.
never me trying to.
I was
Copy Crispy.
wondering. I was wondering. I saw
yeah.
that username and I was like, is that
This guy?
a
Who's this?
reference? Is that a reference?
No.
Oh my.
So, like-
wow.
Back when I used to make a lot of like vlogging YouTube videos and stuff like that, I was, because my last name's Green, I was Greenie Productions.
Yeah.
So when I made my Twitter, it was greenie_pro.
Pro,
Is that where
yeah.
the pro comes from for you?
That's so funny because it's the exact same thing, except I messed up when I was typing my YouTube username. I was just supposed to be Crispy Productions, but in the URL it said Crispy Pro Productions because I misspelt it. So I just ran with it. But that's funny. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's just supposed to be Crispy Productions, but it's taken on a whole new meaning. So I'm now the most professional Crispy out there of all time.
We love more Crispy and the Crispy Master. How's that? Bringing it.
The Crispy Master,
circle.
bringing it full circle.
How good. All right, so this is the time. It's incredibly awkward when we have guests on,
No,
and
it's
we
not.
have to sing.
Sing along, boys. Sing along, boys.
Far out.
It's a good time.
Far out.
I don't know. Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. I'm a generous critic.
That's it. You tell us your honest opinion afterwards. All right.
All right.
Oh lordy.
Let's go.
All right, ready?
Count me in.
It's Aiden and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews.
With
Doctor
Crispy Pro.
Oh!
We're getting bad at that. I think we're starting to say different words every time.
Yeah, well,
Boys.
sometimes chuck in the remix, change the lyrics a little bit. Crispy's on feature this week. We had Vinny a few weeks ago.
Yeah, what's Crispy's review?
Listen, lads, I really like what you brought to the table today. I really think you had some excellent singing, some excellent a cappella, and I really enjoyed it.
Love it.
You know what? I'll give it a 10, boys. I'll give it a 10. I'll give it an absolute 10.
That's a 10.
You're going to Vegas, boys. You're through to Vegas.
50% forever, baby. Let's get it.